In today's video, we go through the mortgage refinance process. We specifically talk, how does it compare to when you bought your home, kind of the mortgage purchase process, if you want to think of it that way. My name is Matt Kelly. I'm a mortgage agent with Mortgage Architects based out of the London and St. Thomas area, happily and easily able to serve anybody in Ontario. That's kind of what my license allows me to do. But it's not the topic of this video. It's literally just to let you know what that process looks like. Look, there's a lot of reasons why people refinance their homes. We'll go through that in a completely separate video, but let's talk about the process first. Okay, there's about 7, maybe 8 steps in the mortgage refinance process. It starts with meeting with your mortgage pro, discussing what your current situation is, what your goals are. From there, you're going to complete the application. Once the application's in, your mortgage pro's looked at everything, you're going to jump into step 3. That's your strategy call. From there, your mortgage pro, they're going to own most of it, right? They're going to submit your application to the lender in step 4. They're going to hopefully get back a mortgage approval in step 5. Now, step 6 is where we work on fulfilling the conditions of your mortgage commitment. This is typically where an appraisal is needed. Step 7 is when the title company or lawyer is instructed. They're the ones who are going to register your new mortgage on your title in the way that your lawyer or maybe your notary did when you purchased the home. And then step 8 is closing day, and that looks different based on what your goals are when you started out. Look, a lot of the members of your power team are there, with the exception of your realtor. You needed a realtor to buy a home. To refinance your home, you don't, right? So let's jump a little bit deeper into each step, starting with step 1, the discussion. This is where you're going to meet with your mortgage pro, like I said. You're going to discuss what you're hoping to achieve. And an honest mortgage professional will let you know what their process looks like, because sometimes they're a little bit different depending on whether you're using somebody in a bank or you're using somebody in the mortgage broker space. And they're going to tell you whether a refinance realistically is something that's in the cards for you. It's something that's going to help you hit your goals. Okay, step 2, mortgage application. This is the exact same process that you went through when you went to go get pre-approved to buy your home. You're going to pull together your income documents, right? Things like your pay stub, your letter of employment. If it's a rental property, you're going to get those leases together, maybe your T4s. And your mortgage pro is going to pull your credit here. And they're going to basically pull all this information together, thinking about the goals you wanted to set out and achieve, and they're going to come up with some different strategies to help you get there. Hence the 3rd step, which is the strategy call. This is where they're going to consider things like any penalties and any fees to break your mortgage and refinance. And they're going to present you with the options to go forward. I always say to clients, look, my job is to advise you of your options. Your job is to instruct me which one you want to go with. Okay, so once you've instructed me, then I'm going to submit your application to the lender, going through and acting on the process that we agreed on. The goal here is to get a mortgage commitment back. And this is a lender's promise to fund your mortgage provided that we fulfill all the conditions laid out in their commitment. Okay, speaking of fulfilling conditions, that's our next step. Really unique to the refinance process is an appraisal. You may have needed one when you bought a home, but you're almost absolutely certainly going to need one when you refinance your home. Lenders just want to make sure that they're not lending based on a higher value for your home than what it's actually worth. We move into step 7 here. Look, when you bought your home, you could either have a notary or more commonly a lawyer closes this transaction for you. In a refinance, you kind of have options too. You can either use a title company, one of the most popular ones in Canada is First Canadian Title, or you can use a lawyer. Now, they both are essentially going to do the same thing for you. The major advantage of a title company is that they're typically a little bit cheaper. Doesn't devalue what they do, but if you're somebody that's going to refinance to pay out debt, especially if it's multiple debts, Some lawyers will charge you per debt that they're paying out, whereas FCT will only charge you one flat amount. So FCT, they're typically going to meet with you a couple weeks before your mortgage is set to fund, whereas a lawyer, heck, they're really busy. It's probably going to be 3 days, 2 to 3 days prior to closing. Now, before I jump into the last step, I'm actually going to give you a little bonus tip here. One of the things that, whether you go lawyer or whether we go First Canadian Title, one of the things they're going to ask for is what's called a payout statement. This is when they get in touch with your current lender saying, look, you've been a great lender, but we're actually going to take this mortgage to a new lender. It is at this point that probably 7 or 8 out of 10 lenders are going to call you, the borrower, and say, hey, we noticed that you want to take your mortgage away from us. We really value your business, and therefore they're going to give you an offer to retain you as a customer. Now, a good mortgage professional will have prepared you for this conversation, but a really good mortgage professional will actually tell you if the offer that they have given you is the best offer for you. Some lenders like to, maybe they'll waive the penalty for you. Sometimes they do what's called a blend and extend, when they are still going to ultimately give you the same amount that your mortgage professional is going to get you, but it's going to be at a hybrid of rates. Often the rate is a little bit higher than what you're being offered. And lenders, when they do this, they also typically don't match the amortization. It's part of their way of keeping you a customer for life. But more importantly, and most importantly in this step, be prepared for it. This is something they've had available to them the whole time. But if your mortgage professional is worth their weight in gold, they will be honest. They will tell you if the offer you have in front of you is the best offer for you. I know there's been many times in my career where I've actually advised clients not to proceed with me because the offer they've gotten from their lender is actually a very good offer and served their best interests the most. And the last step is closing day. Closing day has a lot of the broad strokes of being the same for everybody, but it does depend on your reason for refinancing. If you're just taking money out of your home, maybe it's to renovate it, you don't need the renovation funds right away, or maybe you're looking to buy another property. Basically what's going to happen is this money is going to get just deposited in your bank account. You're going to be feeling kind of rich because you've just had this amount of money put in. If you're somebody that is going, you're refinancing to pay off debt, then this money is going to be held with either the title company or your lawyer and trust, and they are going to be responsible for dispersing and making those payouts happen. And so therefore, there's not necessarily going to be a large amount put in your bank account. So to recap and to wrap up this video, the refinance process is honestly very similar to when you purchase your home. The difference is you don't need a realtor involved when you refinance. You're likely going to need an appraisal. That's the second major difference. And the third one is that your refinance can be closed with either a title company or a lawyer, and your mortgage professional will give you kind of those options and the advantages of both. If this is a video that you liked, please hit the like button, consider subscribing to the channel. And if you know somebody that's even considering refinancing, or you think they may find this video helpful, then please share it with them. But until next time, thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a great day.